Tonight, authorities converge on Morwell as air quality concerns mount. Court for a man charged over a fatal collision at Thorpedale. And an Olympian called in to motivate the region's farmers. Good evening, I'm Bruce Roberts. Also tonight, efforts continue to contain two large bushfires burning in East Gippsland. First tonight, a respite centre has been set up in Morwell for Latrobe Valley residents looking to escape the smoke. Today, an unexpected wind change caused the worst air quality levels seen since the mine fires started.
The heads of Victoria's key agencies converged on Morwell this afternoon.
Either smoke, could have carbon monoxide in it, which is obviously EPA and Department of Health, and is dropping ash.
The message was clear for vulnerable members of the community.
If possible, it's good if they could take a break out of the smoky conditions, even for a short period of time. That lessens people's total exposure to the smoke.
The same advice was given to the Department of Education, which relocated pupils from the Commercial Road Primary School.
The Department of Education are working with the local schools to relocate some of the children from schools and childcare centres.
Between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m, people can go to the Morwell Town Hall,
which will provide an air-conditioned space away from the smoke where locals can go to get temporary respite.
Today, the EPA set up a mobile air quality lab at the back of the Morwell Bowling Club.
By tomorrow, we'll be able to produce air quality statistics both in fine particulates, the larger particulates, and also carbon monoxide.
It came as an unexpected wind change today caused the air quality index levels to spike. In Melbourne, concerns were raised in State Parliament.
Has there been any time during this fire when those responsible for managing the incident determined to issue an alert for a voluntary evacuation of Morwell?
I haven't seen any triggers that would indicate evacuation would be required.
Interstate experts have reviewed the strategy being applied to the open cut fire, where in some areas temperatures are exceeding 150 degrees.
Confirmed that we should be continuing to use water, confirmed that we need to have what they call a balanced water strategy, that is the amount of water we put in the mine needs to be pumped out. And if we don't do that, we could see collapse, we could see flooding of the mine, we could lose critical infrastructure.
Last night, tempers flared at a community meeting in Morwell. Residents aired their frustrations.
Coal ash is toxic. It's been proven all around the world.
As authorities attempted to update them on efforts to suppress one of the most complex fires seen in Victoria.
We've searched the world to try and find solutions to this. We've got experts from all around Australia in Morwell, Tarralgon as we speak.
Authorities expect the fire could burn for another 2 weeks.
This is not, in the scheme of things, a long-term exposure. At these levels, we would not expect to see any increase in long-term health effects.
Brooke Van Newton, Win News.
Where there's fire, there's smoke. The Latrobe Valley's air quality goes from bad to worse.
We were choking on some days, and other days it's ash falling from the sky.
It's emerged authorities considered evacuating Morwell in recent days because of the choking smoke from the coal fire in the Hazelwood open cut. They didn't because it was felt the health threat wasn't sustained. But carbon monoxide levels around Morwell are still unacceptably high, and as Cheryl Hall reports, local primary schools will close tomorrow.
The fire has been burning in an open-cut coal mine on the edge of the Latrobe Valley town of Morwell for 10 days. The thick smoke and ash is forcing some residents to move out.
We're copping such thick smoke here in this house, and the ash is constantly falling that you just can't breathe, you can't be outside.
I quit cigarettes 8 months ago, and I'm finding now I feel like I'm smoking a packet of cigarettes every day.
200 firefighters have been trying to put out the fire, working short shifts to reduce their exposure to carbon monoxide. Fire Services Commissioner Craig Lapsley says it's a difficult and dangerous job.
Some of the temperatures are measured to be in excess of 150 degrees C, which means you've got significant heat buried in the ground.
Extra firefighters from New South Wales are now on the way. But adding to the difficulty, the fire in the open-cut mine is also a threat to the Hazelwood power station itself.
We could see collapse, we could see flooding of the mine, we could lose critical infrastructure that allows the mine to operate. So it's a complex environment.
Authorities considered a plan to evacuate the town of Morwell, but have decided not to go ahead, because although pollution is spiking at extreme levels, so far the peaks have not been sustained.
Even though it's very distressing for people who are living here and having to put up with it, this is not the sort of exposure which we would expect to see long-term health effects from.
But tomorrow, children will be transported from primary schools in Morwell to other schools in nearby Moe, and a respite centre will be set up for Morwell residents in need of a breather. Cheryl Hall, Morwell.